Welcome back, folks. Today we're actually diving into a topic that's crucial for anyone looking to purchase a home or refinance. Yes, we're talking about understanding your mortgage scores. So stay tuned for more information with Living Out Loud with the A&O Realty Group. Hello, my name is Michelle Barnes with the A&O Realty Group. I have the pleasure of not only being a real estate agent, but I'm also a lender. So today we're going to actually unpack the mysteries behind your credit score. This is going to be part one. Okay, first things first. What's exactly a mortgage score? Well, I'm glad you asked. It's a number that lenders use to evaluate your credit worthiness when applying for mortgage, credit cards, or auto loans. Now let's uncover how this score is actually calculated. So it's a blend of your credit history, your payment history, your debt to income ratio, as well as your credit mix. Essentially, it's a snapshot of your actual financial health. Okay, so determining your mortgage score involves checking your credit report, but how do you actually improve it? So again, I'm glad you asked. I have 5 tips for you that you can definitely use right now, and it will definitely improve your credit. So the first thing is you want to pay your bills on time. Paying your bills on time will definitely boost your credit score significantly. Second tip is to keep your credit utilization low. So aim to use a small portion of your credit every month. Now, there's a caveat to this because you can actually use your entire credit all the way up every month. But you have to be sure of 2 things. So one, you have to make your monthly payment by the due date. Make your monthly payment by the due date is important because if you don't do it by the due date, then it's going to be considered late for revolving credit. All right. The second thing is you want to make sure that by the closing date, which is anywhere from I'll say 2 to 5 days after your due date, you want to make sure that you pay down your balance 10% or less. The closing date is the actual date that that your creditor is going to report your credit or your account to the credit bureaus. Okay, so give you an example. On the first, on say your credit card, you have a Chase credit card. You have a limit of $1,000. Okay, and this month you had a lot to do. You got gas, all the stuff that you're doing. And you end up using the entire $1,000 before the due date, though. So from closing date, the previous closing date to the due date, you used up the entire balance. That is fine. Okay, as long as you pay your minimum payment 3 to 5 days after you make your minimum payment, which is the due date, you actually can pay more to pay down your balance to 10% less than the actual limit. Okay, so in my scenario, $1,000 is your limit. You've actually used up your entire balance, or you used a portion, that's fine. As long as you pay it down to 10% of that $1,000, which will bring it to $100. So 10% or less is going to boost your credit score up more significantly than not. Some people say 30, I recommend 10%. So find out what your closing date is on that particular credit card so that you can be mindful of that and make sure that your balance is 10% or less of what your limit is. All right. So step 3 is regularly reviewing your credit report for errors. Mistakes can impact your credit, and it can negatively impact your credit score, which you don't want. So make sure you review it, often. The next tip, which is very important, is to watch the amount of inquiries made on your credit report, right? Because they do impact your credit report. I would recommend not having anything more than 3 to 5 inquiries a year. Less is more in this case, so the less the better, because the more thirstier you look like that you need credit, the less likely they're going to approve your credit. So you want or approve your loan or your credit card. So you want to make sure that that is that you're being mindful of that. If the creditor actually offers soft pulls, definitely find that out up front. Sometimes they'll allow a soft pull to see if you are approved for it, and then once you get approved for it, then it will hit your credit. So find out if that's an option for you. Okay, and tip 5 is don't use Credit Karma as your primary source for determining your credit. Credit Karma is not the best source. Not to say they're a bad company, they're not. It's just not the best source to determine what your true FICO score is for your actual credit, right? It has limited information because it only reports on 2 of the 3 creditors or credit bureaus, and it also depends on what you're looking for, because I believe Credit Karma is more targeted to the credit card side, and we're going to go into more detail on that on the next video. But don't use Credit Card. I'll say it this way, I would not recommend using Credit Karma as your primary source, definitely for mortgage, and I wouldn't say for auto either. But it'll give you some guidelines as to where you are, but it is not your primary source, or should not be your primary source if you're going out for a mortgage loan. Okay, so I'll say it that way because it is a source to help you kind of understand kind of where you are with your credit score. Okay, so those are my tips for today. Just be very, very mindful. So if I had a bonus tip to share, I would say definitely watch your credit mix, and that could mean the types of line of credits that you have. So whether it be credit card, auto, mortgage, so on and so forth. I would definitely watch that, and then also how long you've had your accounts. That definitely impacts your credit score. So that would be, of course, if you had like a loan for 5-10 years, what have you, that definitely does help. And then also they do want to see some new credit lines as well. So just a little tidbit that you could put in your back pockets, but don't overdo the new credit lines, because once again, that's going to hit your inquiries. So you want to make sure that you keep that to a minimum. Okay, so that's it. Keep in mind that I have a plethora of resources in my virtual Rolodex. I know Rolodex is a very antiquated terminology, but I do have a lot of resources for you. So if you need a credit repair, credit restoration company to help you in that with your journey, I can definitely do that. Just reach out to me and I'll provide you and partner you with one of my elite business partners. All right. Again, I hope you learned a lot from today, from my 5 credit repair, credit report, or even credit score topics and tips for today. I hope that bonus helped you as well. So for more information on anything relative to real estate or lending, feel free to give me a call, but I have other resources as well. So don't hesitate to reach out to me. So remember, knowledge is power. So please like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on my next video. Mahalo. That's all, folks. Take care. Bye.